Right, and I thought, right, this is going to be the most unbearably unpleasant job. I think the first thing that drew me to the role of Mycroft was the relationship he has with his brother, the circumstances surrounding that relationship. They lost their younger sister at a very young age, and following that, their mother had to take a leave of absence, father away from business, away on business, out of the country for long periods of time, which left Mycroft with a lot of responsibility. He recognized always Sherlock's unique perception of the world and understood the value in that perception. At the other side of that coin, he's eternally frustrating, impossible to reach sometimes, a very, very different mind, but it's underpinned with like a huge amount of love and a very strong instinct to protect him. But Mycroft, being the kind of man he was from the generation he was, he's very buttoned up and he's very restricted, stiff upper lip and all that sort of thing. You don't show emotion. So it's a lovely problem to have. And Hero and I remember when we came in for the chemistry tests, and chemistry tests are funny things, and I met Hero in the corridor, and he's just got so much warmth about him, and he instantly connected, and I just knew from that moment on it was going to be a huge amount of fun, and it proved to be. I don't know, Hero does more than half of the work for me. He's a generous spirit, he's a warm, kind, charismatic, fun actor. He's always goofing around on set, which breaks any ice that may be there. And as I mentioned in one of the previous questions, the dynamic between Mycroft and Sherlock, there's love and frustration and all sorts of things between them, and a shared understanding of the trauma they've been through, and I think they understand each other's natures in a way that no one else does, so they're bound by that. Working with Guy Ritchie was a pretty extraordinary experience for me. We all know Guy Ritchie's work. We love Guy Ritchie's work, his energy, the kinetic pace, the humour, So I was extremely looking forward to my first day on set. And my first day on set, I had this huge long monologue, massive great thing, and I prepared it months in advance. I was all ready to go and try and impress Guy Ritchie. And I got to set, and we were called into his trailer, and he said, everything you've learned, we're just going to throw that out the window. We're going to rewrite it now. Big, long, dirty, great long monologue. We're going to rewrite it now. We'll give you 5-10 minutes. You just learn it, and off we go. Right, and I thought, right, this is going to be the most unbearably unpleasant job I've ever done. And I remember just before action, he looked at me in the way that a sort of shark might look at a smaller fish. It's like, do or die time, my friend. And you had to really give all control and surrender it all to him and to his process. And I'm one for control. It makes me feel safe and secure, and the more preparation that I can have, the more control I feel. So I was confronted with this person who was forcing me to abandon all control. And I've never had so much fun working with a director. And I feel that he left me with a little wisdom as to how to approach acting in general that I hope to never forget. So, yeah.
Actually, fortunately, I haven't seen much Sherlock, so, which was nice, other than the books. It was lovely to kind of come to it without ghosts of wonderful other productions haunting me. This was it. This was my first foray into Sherlock, really. Apart from, funny enough, young Sherlock that was done by Spielberg years and years and years ago when I was young, which I really loved. So I loved how different this was to that as well. I'd say, Scandinavian directors and DPs are phenomenal. They've got this great sensibility, and he's incredibly creative. And I remember on the first day, it was his first day, in fact, and we were doing a scene outside, which is a sort of flashback scene. It's meant to be midsummer, and we have these lovely gazebos and these beautiful costumes that Janie had. She's the most phenomenal costume designer. Exquisite sort of white linen costume, and we're in mud and rain and hail, and we're trying to pretend that it's summer. And an AD came up to Anderson and was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. You know, this is just a road wreck and really apologises. It's your first day and whatever. And Anders just looked up and he said, "Oh no, I'm not bitter. I'm saving all my bitterness for when I am dead." And I just thought, oh my God, I love this guy. He's completely indefatigable and you know, not disturbed by anything. He's just this most amazing, positive, energetic, optimistic energy. And that persisted throughout, whether it was a night shoot, whether we were all freezing cold, whether he's just wonderful. Well, in the house, there was this extraordinary study which belonged to Silas, Joe's character. And it sounds kind of morbid, but there's a lot of taxidermy, and there are these incredible owls and hummingbirds and butterflies, and I don't think I'd actually want any of them, but it's a bit like being in Darwin's study, that there was an amazing time travel element to that, and sort of telescope. I think I'd like one of the telescopes, yeah.